So when a client comes to you, you want to continue to go back to the story they shared with you. We're going to go through all of your different goals here today, all the things that you want to improve. But if we can only start in one place, we can only fix one thing. We're going to work on them all, but if we can only fix one thing, what's that one thing that you want to fix? We start there, and then we work down the list. And then you go back to those goals each time with your plan. And if you are able to do that, you are then speaking your client's language. All right, everybody, we are back with a brand new Integrative Health Coach Success podcast. Excited to ring in the new year with you and get into a topic that I just think is crucial for you to know in your practice to better be able to serve and get your clients better results. In the industry, we used to like to call it give them what they want, but provide them with what they need. Now, there's different variations of that saying and quote, of course, but I want to share with you exactly what that means. And it is crucial because if you follow this simple quote, give them what they want, but provide them with what they need, you will have happier clients that come back to you over and over. They sing your praises. They give you referrals. They're a delight to work with. Here's what it is. Back in the day, this is the 90s. I'm just learning the ropes with being a nutrition consultant and personal trainer and all that good stuff. And so a client would come in, and during their assessment, it was an hour to an hour and a half long assessment. I'd be going over their postural assessment, taking pictures if one shoulder is elevated over the other, if one hip's elevated, if their feet are splayed, if they're pronated, if they're, supinating, all these different things. And I would go through all this and I would talk about all the different things that I wanted to help them with. And meanwhile, they came in and they had all sorts of other ideas what they were looking for. And in the beginning, I was not signing up the majority of clients that came in for a free consultation. Maybe it was like 50%. It wasn't like very good. I thought it was okay because I didn't know any better. I realized later, it was like, no, like 80 to 90 to 100% of people should sign up after their consultation. Why? They filled out their form. They took time out of their busy schedule. They met with you. They want to do personal training or whatever it might be. And they're just looking for a reason to sign up with you or not. And so I wasn't connecting with them. So I'm realizing like, oh, well, what am I doing wrong? So I started to study other personal trainers that were doing really well. And I started to learn more online. It's like, how can I get better at my craft? Because I felt like I knew what I was doing. I was taking my National Academy of Sports Medicine, my Greg Cook functional movement screen. I was doing all those things way back in the day. NASM had just started and I was a part of NASM. I was getting to learn from the beginning and it was great, right? But that wasn't the end all be all because a client came in and they told me what they wanted. And the majority of clients back then that I worked with wanted to lose weight, get in better shape, and feel great. Those three things: lose weight, get in shape, feel great. That's what they wanted. And my program was, we're going to help you with your thoracic spine, open up your hip flexors. I'm going to strengthen the imbalances between your hamstring and weak glutes and your quadriceps. I'm going to work on your ankle mobility. And they're like, what are you saying? Like, what are you saying? I'm hiring you because I want you to help me lose weight, help me get in shape, help me feel great. And I wasn't hearing that. And that's the issue. So what should I have done? What I should have done was this: give them what they wanted. They are the client. They are essentially my boss. I work for them. They don't work for me, right? I work for them. They're the paying client. They know what they want. Now, does that negate the whole functional movement screen and everything else that I found, the muscle imbalances? No. But here's what it should have been. Let's call this woman Jane. Jane comes in. We do a half-hour intake. This is what she's looking for. This is her previous health history. Great. And then I take her onto the floor, let's say, and I go through an overhead squat. I do a plank. I do all sorts of different assessments. And I say, oh, interesting. Do you feel those muscles getting really tight? She's like, yeah, I do. Do you feel the tightness in your back when you're starting to compensate there? She's like, oh, yeah, I do. And say, great. And then we go and we sit down. What I should have done, instead of focusing more on what I found, was what she originally came in for. Because what I found is just the icing on the cake. I said, all right, Jane, based on what I saw here today during my assessment, your assessment, and what you told me, I want to work on a body transformation program that's going to help you lose weight. Your first month, you're going to lose between 5 and 10 pounds. After that, we're going to help you lose 1% of your body weight each and every week on average until you get down those 18 pounds that you wanted to lose. So I'm going directly back to her goal, right? And during that time, you're going to actually see more muscle tone and definition. Again, I'm speaking their language. And that's because we're losing a lot of the fat over the muscle, and we'll be working the muscle and help strengthening the body. And then at that same time, when you lose 18 pounds, like have you ever felt what 18 pounds feels like? And I would grab her a 15-pound dumbbell. And I'd say, try to hold your arm out straight with this 15-pound dumbbell. And she would hold it maybe for a few seconds and then it would go down. I'm like, you're going to lose more than that amount of weight. Think about having 15 less, 18 less pounds in your body. You're automatically going to have far more energy. Do you see why that would be? You're not carrying around that extra 15 pounds. She's like, yeah, I understand. I get it. And your body's going to be stronger. And you're going to be on an anti-inflammatory nutrition plan. And she was like, oh, that sounds amazing. And that's what I did. And then I would say, and what I'm going to do is just build into your program a couple of things that I found as well, helping you with that tightness in your mid-back, the hip flexors, activating the glutes so they get a little stronger too. How does that sound to you? It sounds great. And that's how we did it. That's all we did. There's no selling. Like that's the thing, is if you're a health coach right now, I don't need you or want you to sell. You're not selling. You're not. You are helping Jane. You're listening to Jane. And then you're creating a map. Jane, this is how we're going to get you from point A to point B, which is your goal, right? I'm going to help you with your nutrition, your exercise program, and getting to your goals. But all I'm doing is going back to her goals because she doesn't know if your plan's going to work or not. But you're sharing with her that you understand her goals and that you're going to get her to that. And if you need to go into your program, you can. But what I just did right there was gave her what she wanted. Lose 18 pounds. Get in shape. What does that mean? See muscle definition. That's really what people talk about, right? They tone up. I'm using that in air quotes if you're watching this on video. And then feel great. Lose weight, get in shape, feel great. I go back to exactly what she is. And the more specific I can be, drop 18 pounds, see definition in the shoulders and arms. A lot of people in our practice wanted to see that. And then increase energy. You get more energy when you wake up in the morning, more energy walking up a flight of stairs for everyday tasks. Is that what you're looking for? Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Great. I have no doubt that we're going to be able to get you that as well. How are you going to get me there? 5 to 10 pounds the first month. Maybe it loses more, but I don't want to set up unrealistic expectations. Then 1% of your body weight each and every week, on average per month. Right? So let's say she's 180 pounds, 1.8 pounds per week on average, or somewhere about 6 to 7 pounds per month after that, until she reaches her 18-pound loss. And I've got all sorts of different things that I'm going to do. I've got my first 21 days of the Fatlocity plan that I might use. And then we're going to go back to regular phase in, phase 2 nutrition. Her strength training is going to be there. We're going to increase her steps. Nothing too crazy. We're not even doing cardio yet. And then we're going to add on the cardio if she starts to plateau a little bit. Then we might finish it out with a 7-day or 21-day functional medicine detox. So just to get right into those goals. And she's going to feel great. And you know what? The same time, what am I going to be doing? Working on the thoracic spine, the tightness there. I'm going to be adding in things like Romanian deadlifts and lunges for a little bit of glute activation. I'm going to be doing work for the hamstrings. Again, Romanian deadlifts. The lunges are fine. I'll be doing activation exercises like slides, etc. So there's so much that I'll be doing that she won't know that's why I'm doing it, but they're all going to lead her to her goals as well. So I share this story with you here today because it's the exact same thing with what I also do now today. So what I do today is integrative health, right? Traditional naturopathy, like all those great things, functional medicine, whatever you want to call it, integrative health, that's what we call it, right? And many of the people listening to this, of course, are integrative health practitioners. So when a client comes to you, you want to continue to go back to the story they shared with you. What are their top goals? You know, I've always said this before, I say it inside of IHP, but We're going to go through all of your different goals here today, all the things that you want to improve. But if we can only start in one place, we can only fix one thing. We're going to work on them all. But if we can only fix one thing, what's that one thing that you want to fix? We start there. And then we work down the list. And everybody say, well, I have a 1A and 1B. That's okay. Let's start with 1A. And then you go back to those goals each time with your plan. And if you are able to do that, you are then speaking your client's language. I did this wrong when I first started in personal training and nutrition. I also did it wrong when I first started in functional medicine, naturopathy, whatever you want to call it. I didn't think that all industries are basically the same, but they are. I started to talk too much medical jargon, too in the weeds. And what do clients want? Lose weight, get in shape, feel great. Now, they might have different words when they're coming to you for health, right? It might be decrease bloating, lose like excess water weight, water retention, improve brain fog. Okay, no problem. You're just going back to those then as you're mapping out a plan. So as an IHP, especially at level 2, you might say, Jane, here's what I want to do. I want to make sure that we figure out why you have these digestive issues, this bloating, this water retention from a lot of inflammation. Because if we can figure out why that is, then we don't just fix it temporarily, we fix it forever. So what I want to do with you is actually run a few labs that look at yeast overgrowth in the gut or bacterial overgrowth in the gut, things that can cause every time you eat for you to swell up. And I'm going back to her word, swell up, like that she would be something that she used. And then what I also want to understand is, do you have food sensitivities that when you eat them might be causing inflammation that then leads to brain fog? So I want to work on that as well. And so I'm sharing, like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I'm always tying it back to her goals. And then I'll add in whatever else I need. She might not need to know about everything about heavy metals and the minerals and metals test and all that, but I can show her the path to getting well. If you meet with me, I'm going to do some detective work. I'm going to run these at-home lab tests. And then I'm going to help you with those outward symptoms as to why you have them. We're going to be able to work this over 12 to 16 weeks. And I think you, like most of my clients, are going to see those results within just those first few weeks. How does that sound to you? Sounds great. How do we get started? All right, what I want to do today, and then I'm just going to go into, we're going to send out these specific labs. You're going to complete these over the next week or two maximum so that I can put you back in my schedule 6 weeks from now, where I'm going to give you a whole personalized based plan based on exactly what you need, not in anybody else, just specifically for you. And in the meantime, I'm going to give you something to do for 21 days that's going to help you dramatically once you complete those labs. So you let me know when you complete the labs. We're then going to begin the 21-day functional medicine detox. Right after that, a few weeks later, we'll be meeting for your precision-based plan. How does that sound to you? Sounds great. That's it. That's all you have to do. There is no selling. There is no selling in any high-level service. None ever whatsoever. It's just sharing with people, this is how I can help you get to your goals. Just make sure they're the person's goals and not your own. Thanks so much for tuning into today's Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, please feel free to leave a comment below. Of course, subscribe, rate, and review the show. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have ideas for new shows this new year, please put those in the comments below as well. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day.